We are live. We are live. It's a Tuesday. Welcome to Feathersec Daily. My name is Neodate Evans.
And I'm Nana Evans.
And today on the show, we're going to be talking about the UK strike law, which has just been approved, Priscilla Presley's challenge to Lisa Marie's will, and the UK economy shrinkage. And of course, we have our parenting conundrums. So let's get into this. UK strike law has just been approved. MPs have approved a bill enforcing minimum service levels for some sectors during strikes. Some employees, including the rail industry and emergency services, would be required to work during strikes and could face consequences if they refuse. The bill was passed by 315 votes to 246, but is facing opposition and further scrutiny in the House of Lords. Labour Party have accused the bill of stripping away protections against unfair dismissal and called it an attack on the right to strike. The bill will enable the government to set minimum service levels for certain sectors and allow employers to issue work notices to unions during strikes. Okay. Throw the country away in the bin. Throw the country in the bin.
Makes no sense whatsoever.
Throw it in the bin.
This is going to be okay. And hopefully there is hope that the House of Lords actually stop this. Because there's supposed to be more opposition to this bill there than within I
would have thought they would have been for it.
No. From what I was reading, and people were saying that quite a few things that the Conservatives have tried to put through does seem to manage to get stopped at the House of Lords. So maybe, or a revision. I mean, I don't know how you revise this. The point of striking is to create inconvenience.
Yeah.
You know, you only go to strike when it's like the talks are failing.
Mm-hmm.
So to remove that, why are people, you could just tell them no. You could continuously tell workers no. And then
because now it's like
strike, you're going to get sacked.
The one tool that employees have to fight back against their employer, it's like you've blunted the instrument.
Yeah.
So it's way less effective. It's way less of a problem. So where's the rules in place to ensure that you're still doing right by your employees?
Exactly. It's a crazy one, but you know, it's not surprising because they hold the majority. So, and it seems like a lot of Conservatives are supporting this. So what can you do? We just have to hope that the House of Lords stops it, or then we all strike to stop this bill about striking. It's absolutely crazy, but maybe that is what needs to take place.
To be honest with you, I think there needs to be a shift in the psyche of the average person living in this country, because I think we are way too placid.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying go out there and choose violence or anything like that, but from the time that they have taken away, I mean, it was Priti Patel who, what did she do with the protest laws?
Oh yeah, well, there's gathering laws.
Yeah, so
it can stop people gathering.
From when she started from that, and there wasn't the massive kickback, like for instance in France.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
that tells them all they need to know is that if we push very softly, very slowly, eventually we can put everything through that we want to put through, because all the general populace will do is grumble, but generally speaking, we'll always just get on with it.
I think there are so many people that really do agree with these things. Like they've been indoctrinated to think that this is okay.
I mean, there's definitely those people, but I think we're at a point when you look at the amount of strikes this country has faced in this year alone, and we're not even into the second month.
We have the mega one tomorrow.
What's happening?
But tomorrow is almost everybody is striking. It's teachers, it's rail workers, it's I think it's ambulance as well. There are people striking that work on motorways. There's like 6 different people striking tomorrow.
So tomorrow, don't come out your yard.
It's basically
don't do
loads
anything.
of people aren't going to be able to go anywhere tomorrow because the schools are going to be closed. So you have that as well. But yeah, February the 1st is going to be striking day. And this getting through at least the parliamentary stage, that is, you're not listening because everybody is like, we need better. So introducing a minimum amount of workers isn't helping the situation. Actually, can you address why people are complaining?
The government literally is acting like a petulant child with its fingers in its ears.
Yeah.
And I'm not listening.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm going to make everything even harder. Rather than, I mean, even back when I think it was with the RMT, and it got to a point where the government had spent more money dealing with the issue and at that point, you have to understand the people that you're dealing with. It's like, this is the epitome of somebody that does not want to see you thrive.
Yes.
They do not want to see you thrive
Yeah.
because what they've proven is that the money is there and they will spend it, just not on you.
Basically, I mean, did they manage to find like 8.5 billion to send to Ukraine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and
there's money there.
Let's not forget the magic money tree back when they needed the support of the DUP.
Yes.
But, you know, hey ho, here we are. Still, I don't know, grinding away.
Let's see what happens with House of Lords, and you know, maybe something will come of this, and it will just get thrown out.
I am not optimistic.
No,
but we shall see. So, moving on, international news now. So, a while ago, not too long ago, Lisa Marie Presley passed away, and
suddenly,
yeah, very suddenly, and as in most families, when someone passes away, there has to be a level of passa that comes after the deceased. And so the Presleys are no different. So Priscilla Presley, Lisa's mum, is contesting the validity of Lisa Marie Presley's will. The challenge is due to a 2016 amendment to the will that ousted Priscilla as estate trustee. The amendment misspelled Priscilla's name and had an unusual signature, according to Priscilla's lawyers. The amendment replaced Priscilla and former business manager Barry Siegel as co-trustees with Riley and Benjamin Keogh. The legal challenge argues that the amendment was not delivered, witnessed, or notarized and should be deemed invalid. There's all types of shadiness here.
I don't think so. So Riley and Benjamin are her children. And that to me, and they're adults.
Right.
So I would think that most parents, when their kids are old enough, are going to leave their trust to their children and not to their mother.
Yeah.
So if they were kids, like 12 or something, then yeah, I could understand their grandmother being like, why am I not on the trustee? But these are two adult people. It's very unfortunate because Benjamin committed suicide 3 years ago in 2020. So he's no longer with us. But Riley is still there. She's 33 years old. Why would she not be the trustee? That is her child.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
Exactly that.
You know, the thing that I never understand, I will never, ever, ever understand, is fighting over a deceased person's estate. Like, for me, it is like the most crassest of behaviors that a human being can display, especially when it's quite evident. Yeah.
I mean, but this is lifetime money. This is like Elvis's catalog. This is big money. And then...
but it's not yours.
No.
And then are you going to fight your grandchildren?
This is the thing, because... I guess so. I guess this is what is...
Do you know what the relationship is like between the mum and the Priscilla and the grandchildren?
They're saying that in 2016, they had a big fallout. And so Lisa Marie and Priscilla were not talking, and they weren't talking for years.
Were they talking when she died?
But yes, they had kind of reconciled, I think, when Benjamin died. So maybe they were back in each other's life for like the last 2 years.
Right. And so again, she wants her piece of the pie.
It's a bit strange to say that in 2016... No, you wasn't notified, because obviously
I can imagine she could have not been notified. I can imagine that would happen.
Change trustees on like, you have to tell them. That's what you have to do. You would need to say that you are no longer a trustee now. But if they're not talking, or you're not opening your mail, there are loads of things that could be going on that you wasn't watching what was going on at that time. I don't know. I really hate it when families get super messy when they're grieving, because you know, it's just a part of grieving as well, that there's anger and you want to place it somewhere. But this seems like I can't see what leg she has to stand on.
No, it's embarrassing. And I think especially when you think about the relationship between a grandparent and a grandchild, it's like they're almost like the super protector, you know. And so one would expect in this situation that the general thinking of a grandparent would be like, well, as long as my grandbabies are all right, and I'm saying grandbabies even though they're adults, but it's still that. So it's like, as long as my grandbabies are okay and they're taken care of, I'm fine. I'm okay.
To lose a sibling and your mother within 3 years and then have to be fighting over your trust with your grandmother is crazy. I think she looks really super shady in this. Like, that's this. And could you not just wait a little while? It's like, I swear she died like last month.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like the most insensitive, cruel thing to be doing at this moment in time.
You did make a good point, though, because there is that thing of understanding how different people react when they're dealing with grief. And so it's not being able to really understand the emotions that you're dealing with and lashing out in a particular way because you're upset, you're angry. And so you just kind of lash out because you need to dispense this emotion somehow.
Yeah.
And, you know, and so that's the thing. And I hope that everybody, I guess, goes through their emotions and very quickly eventually comes to their senses and is like, okay,
this isn't the best.
Because I can imagine if you've not been talking to your daughter and then she passes away suddenly and you've just kind of rekindled that, there's going to be a massive level of guilt that you're going to be feeling. And that probably just then speaks into that the fact that this happened and you didn't even know, you weren't even notified, whatever it is. So that's going to amplify how.
Yeah. I get it. There could be a whole thing of I want to be involved. I can see how emotionally it may not just be about money. It may actually just be about having a say, like being included, all of that. But this probably isn't the best time to do this. And hopefully it doesn't damage the relationship with her grandchild, like, forevermore, because that would be really sad. It's like they've had so much tragedy in that family.
But it's so easy.
Really sad one.
It's so easy when you're dealing with grief like this for families just never to speak again. It's actually too easy. It's actually more common that will happen than the other way around.
No, it's really sad. But just to like break apart at this moment when it's probably super heavy over things like money, it is like, it's just sad. It's a sad one.
And then also, like, how much of your, talking about Priscilla now, how much of your lifestyle is dependent on this money? Like, if any at all, or all of it, or I don't know, like, was you just really
She's older now, isn't it? I guess there must be. Well, you have this whole Elvis film. They were part of it. You would have got paid for that. I guess there's probably loads of things that she does with the
You're
Presley
not broke.
surname.
You're not broke.
I don't think so. That she does with the Presley surname. But again, you know, when you just think of all of the different ways being a trustee of this can benefit you. I get it, but sometimes it's like, you know, be an aid to your granddaughter, like be a confidant, get involved with your family.
Yeah. This is the problem with money, yo.
Yeah,
This is money.
sad. It's sad. So let's see.
Yeah. Talking about money, this country ain't got none.
I know.
We ain't got none.
The chart that is out there is something else.
So the UK economy is shrinking, in case you didn't know. It's actually expected to shrink by 0.6% this year, according to the IMF. But, however, our economy did outperform many forecasts last year, which Jeremy Hunt, our Chancellor, will, you know,
I'm sure
he's very keen to remind us. So the IMF downgraded its forecast due to high energy prices, surprise, surprise, rising mortgage costs, increased taxes, and worker shortages. This place is a mess, I'm telling you. Yeah. The UK is expected to be the only country to shrink among all advanced and emerging economies. I wonder, out of all of those emerging economies, which other countries recently left like a massive trading bloc? That would be interesting to see.
I don't think there was any.
There wasn't. So the IMF predicts UK economy to grow by 0.9% in 2024, but some experts question the accuracy of the IMF. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not a fan.
People always talk about the IMF.
Yeah. The IMF, we could have a whole episode dedicated on the IMF. Yeah. So there is definitely the whole with a pinch of salt, because the IMF will say what the IMF needs to say, in my humble opinion, you know. But also two things can be true at the same time, because just from living in this country, we know that things are bad.
Yes.
There was a video on the Shade Borough just last night that I saw, and it was funny, but it was also like, actually, And so a girl was moaning how she's really feeling the effects of cost of living. And so she was saying how she knows this is because she can't afford to get her nails done. And so she was like, money that would have been earmarked for doing her nails and stuff has been eaten up by gas, electricity, and food.
Yeah.
And so obviously she's doing it in a jokey way, but then she goes on to say, like, for those of you thinking like it's just your nails and what have you, then she just kind of, not too deeply, but I didn't labor the point, but she was like, there are a few things in my life that bring me joy and make me happy.
Yeah.
Getting my nails is one of those things. Yeah. And it's like, it's not for any of us to judge, because we all have our own things that bring us joy and make us happy. So it's not for any of us to judge, oh, but it's your nails. Just imagine for a second that one thing, that one special thing that you like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't even need to be a big, outrageous thing. It's just a small thing. Like sometimes treating yourself to a Kinder Bueno and you can't do it.
It's like £40 that you're going to spend on that. And you're like, actually, that £40 isn't even touching how much my bill has gone up. I can't afford to spend that £40 on that. It's just as simple as that. We have no reason why our bills have gone up so much. They haven't given us.
It's a money grab.
A sane reason why this has taken place, because the companies have had record profits. So you're stealing from us to increase your profits. That's all that's taken place, and the government didn't stop it from taking place. That's all it is. So it's not even like we're not to blame. The last economic crisis, again with the banking system, we wasn't to blame. They were doing shoddy practices, and then we had to suffer the consequences.
And we suck it up, and that's the pattern. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier on, is like, they've worked out up there that actually, if we steadily push on with Sheggery, we will get away with it, because the appetite to actually fight back. And again, even just in the sense that the French will protest because they're like, no, this isn't right. It's not on.
Exactly.
Okay. We don't have that appetite.
No.
And because we don't have that appetite, these things will continually keep on happening to us.
Yeah. There's a silent kind of comfortability.
Yeah. But I think we're on the line now. We're on the line now, because it is like, even those people that are, have managed to create a nice life for themselves, albeit everything is on credit, they are starting to feel the pinch. So, when your average family comes home and you're making a conscious decision to not turn on the heat.
Yes.
And you're a right family. You got a nice car on the drive and whatnot, have you, this, that, and the other, but you're making a conscious decision to not turn on the heat. This is when you're going to start being like, actually, no, this don't make no sense.
Goes back to the whole striking day. True. Maybe things will change. Maybe we're going to see more action and people really being like, no, we're not having it. Maybe. There's another side news. There's a poll that was done, and it suggested that the Conservatives within the next general election may go down to as low as 45 seats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're saying it.
I mean, they're definitely not winning it.
Set to be an absolute landslide of a loss that they're going to suffer.
Well, as we said yesterday, is like the writing is probably on the wall for Rishi, because they know they can't enter a general election with him.
If they do, that 45
it's a wrap. It's absolutely a wrap.
That 45 is definitely happening. If they try and switch out and this person has a little bit of personality, I don't know who they're going to find.
And again, this is what I was saying yesterday. This is the problem that they have. Nobody has that personality. Nobody has that charisma. The only person that does is Boris Johnson. And I think even they are tired of him now.
Yeah.
And even they know that not even Boris can save them.
Boris probably can't win. But yeah, so there's all of that there's probably going to be a huge change. And that would be good. I think we need that. A new shift in direction. I'm not even saying that the Labour are better, but something to shift things along would be a good thing. So let's watch this space.
Let's watch this space and see. So we move on.
Yes.
Our parenting conundrum.
Lovely.
Have you got it? It better be not about any type of.
It's not a doo-doo gate.
I can't. I'm still I'm still upset over doo-doo gate. I'm still like that flavored my whole day. Like flavored is probably not the right word.
There we go. Okay. All right. So my husband wanted me to be at home. He said that before we even got married. I wanted a family, so I was good with that. I was a homemaker in the beginning, and then we had a baby, and I was at home, and then more babies. I wasn't a perfect homemaker, kind of hard some days to be perfect with 3 little ones in tow, but I did everything, cooking, cleaning. He didn't pitch in at all, and I understood that was our agreement. When the kids were older, he said to me it was time for me to go and get a job. His income was cut, and we needed help. I went to work right away. Before he But he never pitched in at home. Now he's been laid off and I'm the one working full time, and he still doesn't do any cleaning, laundry, or cooking. Am I the mug for thinking that since the roles have now changed, he would change too? I'm exhausted doing it all. Please help.
She is the mug, but not for those reasons, because nowhere in there did she say that she has said to him, look, man, things done changed. Yeah. And I think, and people do this all too often, is you take things on, not begrudgingly, but you just do it because maybe it's in your nature, but it's a little bit too much. But you won't say, and you're expecting that other people will see. And whether they see or not, okay. I mean, look, here's the thing. He's also, an a-hole as well, because you must be able to be sitting down there and seeing like, oh, like, rah, I'm not working. I'm chilling. The missus is doing everything.
Probably has always thought this is women's work.
There's that as well. Like,
it's not, okay, you stay at home and then you're doing all of the work and I'm doing the work. I think it's more a case of you're the woman, this is what you do. I no longer have a job. Now you have to work. But I think there are more people that just see it as this is women's work.
But there's a thing with men like that where their value comes in being able to provide. And so if you're unable to provide for whatever reason, generally speaking, you will want to provide or pour into the house, at least in another way. So you kind of get those dads that will be like, right, I'm home. So all of those DIY tasks, they're all going to get
doing that.
Yeah. She said he's sitting down lazy.
No, she is referring to the cooking and the cleaning. He literally could be I'm building.
Yeah.
I'm home, but I'm not doing the cooking and the cleaning.
And also, she's, I'm assuming that he's looking for work.
Yeah, I would think so. If you're laid off, he probably is on a job hunt.
That's not a doddle.
You still need to cook and clean. But I think you've married that type of a person.
Yeah.
Like, this shouldn't be a surprise to you. He's probably always shown you what he thinks is a woman's role. And you subscribe to that when it was beneficial to you. And I think now, expecting this person to change when he has shown you this is your job, doesn't matter if you take on more jobs.
Also, didn't she say that she wasn't the best at it and she struggled?
Yeah. But okay, this is all she needs to do. Because when it's in your territory to do it, it's your territory. You're the one that's earning now. Pay somebody to clean.
Yeah. But some man will have a problem with that as well, though.
If he has a problem with that, then we can talk about it. Because is this my area or is this your area? It's just that would be the conversation. If this is my area, this is how I'm choosing to deploy my area because I'm too tired to do it. And it's that simple. If you also want me to do it, then go back and find a job so that I no longer have to work. These are very quick conversations, really. Like, they don't need to be. They are.
It is like, I think people make these things way more difficult than they need to be. Like, as the more and more I sit and think about this, the more and more I know this woman is walking around the house just carrying this burden for no reason. And my guy is probably living his best life.
Not even aware. He's there,
like,
on a
oblivious.
Job search, just like
oblivious.
Like, times are a bit hard at the moment. It's probably just.
He's probably thinking, under pressure to find a job, but ain't I lucky that I got such a good wife? working, still dealing with the house. Not even a grumble.
Yeah, he's probably.
Meanwhile, she's there on Facebook.
Yeah. Or huffing as she's hoovering, and he's just like putting her elbow into it. Like it's
nah, you got to speak, man. You got to speak
and sort it out. Like I think sometimes this is the thing.
Don't fall into roles, man. Don't fall into roles. Just if things are changing, this is the nature of households and marriages and what have you. Things change. The whole thing is dynamic. Nothing stays the same. However, if you do not open your mouth, you will stay where you are, and everything else will move around you.
Yeah. And then he'll get a job and be welcome to actually be used to there's more money.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna stop working. Like, the kids are grown now.
Yeah, that's it. It'll be like, well, let's just both.
What are you gonna do at home, love?
Yeah.
They need a good, solid conversation about this.
There you go.
Yes.
Done. There you go. Done and done and done.
Lovely.
Well,
okay.
That's today's episode.
That was Tuesday.
We'll be back
tomorrow. What are we
tomorrow.
on now? Episode 20.
This is episode 22. Next week is going to be our final week.
Can't say I'm not looking forward to it. I kind of am.
I am.
I also know that when we stop doing our dailies, I will miss it after a few days. I probably will be like, it's kind of fun, but it does take its toll.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for sticking with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we got a question before we go.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, what's the question?
I'm just trying to read it. So, when precept fails, providence steps in. Of their children will be good in what was lacking. I don't understand. I don't understand. So, June, if you could rewrite that. I think what she's saying, when precept fails, providence steps in. Of their children will be good. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, June.
Okay, but thank you.
But thank you. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate you.
And everybody else that has been contributing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for going on this challenge with us, because it is a challenge, but we're working a muscle. Yeah. We've learned a lot of stuff, so yes.
Yeah, no, I think I'm exactly the same as you. I think we got to maybe the end of last week, and I was like, okay. It's enough now. It's enough.
Yeah.
But also, I like, by the time we get to next week, Friday, the sense of just, gratitude of we said this is what we were going to do.
Yep.
And probably, especially this week, there have been so many reasons to be like, knock that on the head.
Yeah.
And, we're still cracking on. So I'm proud of us.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Just remember to like, comment, share,
please,
subscribe to our channel, please, if you come across this video.
And have a wonderful day.
Yes.
And we will see you again back here tomorrow at 12 for another For Heaven's Sake Daily.
Yes. See you tomorrow, guys.
Bye-bye.